Matteucci, that's correct. And I just want to talk to you guys today about writing and praxis and what that looks like in a writing classroom. So I'm going to be talking about some of the concepts we learned in James G. and also another rhetorician, Susan Wells. So basically, I have a confession to make. I'm not a writer, and I don't like to write. And that doesn't really sound unusual, except for the fact that I'm currently teaching writing. So people like my dad can explain this very easily. They say, well, those who can, do, and those who can't, teach. Maybe that's why I'm teaching writing. So basically, my family is a family of doers. This is my parents. We have builders in our family. My dad is a builder. He literally constructs structures out of thin air. He makes bridges, and so does my brother. And this is a bridge that my dad and my brother made, so kind of cool. And so my brother is actually, at one point, was an apprentice to my dad and other experts in that field, right? So it's kind of a direct application of some of G's principles there. But it's not just my dad and my brother who are doers in my family. My family comes from, I'm from the North Coast, and there's a long tradition of logging over there. And we have 4 generations of loggers in my family. My great-grandfather, my grandfather, my uncle, and this is actually my cousin following that tree. So I like to call my primary discourse a doer discourse because that's how I see the people in my family. We're doers, right? So I'll come right back to primary doer discourse in a minute, but I want to take a moment to talk about gatekeepers. So gatekeeping, basically, I'll get back to it, don't worry. Gatekeeping is any sort of mechanism that controls access to dominant discourse. Academic writing can be one of these gatekeepers. So sort of what you would imagine inside the Emerald City is a dominant discourse, right? So inside you have the wealth, the status, let's see, we have the money, right? So that all translates to cultural capital. And really what cultural capital is access to primary discourse. So G argues that teachers should challenge this by sort of making clear to students what this discourse looks like. And the way that they're going to do that is by helping students with their identity kits. So identity kits are tools and mechanisms that open access to dominant discourse, right? So for people like me and my family who are makers and doers, we do this by praxis, right? So praxis is taking action. It's using writing to do something. Perfect for someone who's from a non-dominant discourse, right? So this sort of praxis in the classroom bridges the gap between students who engage in a non-dominant primary discourse and academic language, right? So one way that Susan Wells says we can do this is by expanding the audience for student writers. So actually allowing them to do something for an audience of people. So going from the one teacher to many. So that's what I'm trying to do in my class with audience. So one way to do this is to work within the classroom as sort of a mini scale of what a public sphere could be. You can invite other people into the classroom to share their knowledge, and peers in the classroom can share with one another. Another way to do this is to have your students enter into discourse outside of the classroom, the brick and mortar classroom. And one way that you can do this is by utilizing community resources, and we have some great ones in Chico for that. Third way is by making writing public and just making it available. Digital media is a great way to do this through websites, but that's not the only way. You can also have writers engage with experts in various fields. So if they're into fashion, you have them write with experts and as an expert in fashion or business or construction or whatever they want to do.